Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Super Hamster Plays Kingdom Death Monster. Or, to be more precise, welcome to another episode of Super Hamster Unboxes Kingdom Death Monster. As ever, give me a thumbs up on this video, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe by clicking on the hamster or on the subscribe button down there. Help me take over YouTube one subscriber at a time. Kingdom Death, expansion time. The Flower Knight. The Flower Knight. He is technically a monster, although from what I gather he's kind of a good guy, but kind of a monster. But for all intensive purposes for this video, he is another monster expansion that you can buy for the base set. As all the others are, you get the same quality pamphlet, paper, booklet thing. It's stapled, it's thick paper, it's colour all the way through, it has the list of contents, it has some special rules, it has some story events, it has some new events, including this one, The Forest Wants What It Wants, which is an unusual one because I have seen this exact same story encounter event. Event is the word I was looking for. But I've seen this exact event in another expansion that I will be doing an unboxing for fairly soon, which makes me think that the two are connected, perhaps by the strands of a web. Perhaps a spider's web. Who knows? Anyway, yes. So this book contains some nice events, including the showdown with the Flower Knight, and I say these special rules of, in particular, this lovely fairy ring. What is a fairy ring, I hear you ask? This is the fairy ring, or rather, these are the 4 pieces of the fairy ring. Not sure what this counter is, but it's the same counter as all the others. These boards are the same, but when you put 4 of them together, you will create the fairy ring, which is a new scenery piece that is only ever occurs on. There you go. You get the idea. Yeah, it's a new piece that only ever occurs on when you're fighting the Flower Knight. But there, it's a bit of a change of the board. The board's normally dull grey. I mean, it's beautiful grey, but it is fairly monotone, and this gives you a bit of splash of colour, a change in the pattern, and there you go. So you get 4 of those. You get, as you do in all of the expansions, you get the card dividers for the monster's larger cards, this Flower Knight, and the gear cards that you can get. As I think I've said in other videos, these cards, or these dividers, are slightly bigger, just so you know, than the ones that come in the base set. If you're that bothered about it, just take a straight edge and a knife and take about 3mm off the bottom. I honestly couldn't give a hoot. They all go in the same way, they all do the same job, which of course is to divide up new gear cards. You can see you get quite a few. And new monster cards, which is your resources, your hit locations, your special abilities, your resources, all that sort of thing. So they're fairly standard. Something that is different with this expansion, which I meant to mention when I went through the book, as well as finding ways to add him to a normal campaign, there is new campaign, the Bloom People. As I understand it, it's kind of a mini campaign, but it does change up some of the aspects from the standard one that comes in the game, which is the People of the Lantern, if I recall. But there you have it. You also get a single 50mm base, as ever, coming in 2 pieces, the top and the bottom, but you just get the one base in this set because you only get the one sprue, and it only contains one miniature, being the knight himself. There are no survivors with this set. There are, however, some gear that you can equip your survivors with. So there's a new bow, there's new arrows, new swords, fencing swords, a new musical instrument, which I believe is the cello. You can see. But yeah, no new survivors. So no gold flower armour yet. Watch this space. Actually not this space, because it's going to be a while before it arrives, but there is an expansion in the works from the recent Kickstarter. I say recent, it was nearly 2 years ago now, which is doing a whole flower people forest campaign thing, which I believe is going to add some new survivors and foresty armour and things. But yeah, so you just get the one miniature and some accessories for your other miniatures. So in that sense, this is a bit of a lighter expansion. How it plays that's differently from the others, I cannot speak to, because, funny enough, I haven't played him yet. I haven't put him together yet. Speaking of which, we'll do that now. See you soon. Okay, so now you know what comes in the box. And now we're going to go about putting this guy together. The pieces you'll need are essentially these pieces here, but not these two swords, not this arrow, and you're also going to need this one piece down here, which I'm going to put a picture up here somewhere, which will highlight those, but I'm just going to chop those out. I'll get them cleaned up. I've already got my 50mm base top. We'll cut those pieces out and we'll get cracking. See you in a minute. Okay, so all the pieces here are cut out, including this other foot. So you can see the body's got one foot attached and one foot loose. The loose foot is up on his toes, so his foot is that piece. This little lug thing here, I think, is there to give it to some support. It's loosely sculpted like a tuft of grass, and I don't like it. It doesn't need to be there. I mean, it's not like Kingdom Death has the worries about how much support a model needs, but stands up perfectly well without even the foot there. So I'm going to cut it off because I don't like it. I don't like it. But yeah, it's there. It's a thing. If you want to keep it, keep it. If you don't, don't. It just, for someone who's, as best I can tell, quite agile for a monster in Kingdom Death. I mean, most of them are great lumbering things, aren't they? But this guy's more of a, although he's got this whacking great two-handed sword, he's kind of a fencer and a dandy. Dandy? Is that the right word? Highway dandy type thing. Anyway, let's get him stuck together. Right. The vines. There are 3 of them. There is a big double vine leading into a skull. Put that one to one side. There is a curved one. There is one with a dog leg. We'll put the dog leg to one side. We will take the curve. If you look, wispy end, smooth end. Look at the smooth end, and on the back it has an almost sort of belt buckle type look to it. That piece fits into that hole there. So it goes in like that. So that's the first one we're going to stick. And yeah, it's just a little socket in there. There's a socket on one side and there's the buckle on the other. So bit of cement on the non-buckle side. Put that in there. Job done. So it's another piece dragging across the floor. This guy's got like vines and bushes and things growing out of him. So flip that over. And there are 3 holes. Square hole over this side. Square hole down this side. Round hole in the middle. These two near to each other, this one's loose. We'll start with the two that are next to each other, and we'll take the vine with the skull. If you look up this end where it splits into two, round peg, square peg. So that's going to go just in there. So that's our next. Bit of glue, bit of cement. And there's a fair amount of wiggle on those, so keep going till they fit. And then just push them in. And yeah, looks like when we get there, that one's going to sit on the ground just in front. So stuff is sort of the vines and things are interweaving, which gives it a bit more depth. That one's just a case of taking the square peg, putting it in the hole, and again that one should reach the floor over on this side. So put that in there. Him in the hole, and then you have it. You've got all those vines dragging across the floor and a cloak that now stands on its own. I think you're supposed to put the leg on next, but it's because it's such a freestanding piece. No, we are. Or should we go with the arms? Yeah, well that arm's out the way, so we'll go with that one. Yeah, so the arm with the sword is the same side as the complete leg, and there's a notch. I don't know if you can see it on there. Yeah, there's a notch on that side, and there's one on there, and those two just notch together. Nice and straightforward. And I'll position such that the sword is touching the ground, or at least is very close to it. There we go. The chest, as you can see, has this big gaping gash in the front of it. That is this piece. Now, which way round is it? Flip it over. So on the back there's a flat side and a curved side. The curved side goes that way, so it's going to fit in there. As you can see, fit really easily, and it's only going to be held in by the glue. And we'll get under that. Add some cement in that bond, or in that hole, and in that hole, let it seal. Back to the other arm. Again, there's kind of a notch type piece, but this arm is coming forwards, and a sort of gesture. So let us do that. And I'm pretty sure he's either holding a potion of something, or it could be a butterfly. No, I think it's a present of some sort with a sort of ribbon on the top. But yeah, that is he. While we're here, we may as well stick his head. Again, there's that back plate, and in the side of the head there is a notch. So line him up so that there's a bit of left-right wiggle room. You just want to line it up so that the sides on the helmet on the front match the sides with the helmet on the neck. Yeah, that's him done. Alright. So that is our Flower Knight, essentially. Minus his leg. So at the moment he's kind of like the Black Knight. How about you? How about you? Come on, it's just a scratch. Now, if I stick him to there, as you can see there's a socket in the back and there's a peg on there, so you can't get that wrong. Will I have room to get in there with his leg? And the answer, I think, is going to be a yes. So we will stick them together first. In the socket and around. On the peg and around. There's a couple of recesses for his buttock plates. What else you'd call them? You could call it a butt plate, but I think a buttock plate sounds more elegant. As I say, this guy is something of a dandy, so and we'll then get in there. I think this is the worst joint, which is a good thing that it's not structural, because there is so much room for manipulation in all directions that to get it to go on is going to be a bit of a mare. Now there is a twist. He's not lined up with his knees like that. He's got his big back, so rather than his feet swinging that way, they're swinging that way and that way. So he is twisting slightly. Yeah, I just need to get that lined up, and actually that's about right. So then it's just a case of mounting him on the base, trying to get him central. I want to put him a bit further back than on some of the models I've done. Base of the skull, base of the vine, base of 1 foot, base of the vine, base of the other foot. Piece there, piece there. Right. Get him fairly central, but the pieces that overhang aren't exactly central. Yeah, it's about right, I think. So we'll just go with a few splashes of cement to bond him to the base properly. And the same with those vines. And the tip of his sword. Just want to anchor every point so everything's nice and strong. Back of his cloak. And that last vine. And yeah, there is the Flower Knight. I'll take some pictures offline, which I'll put in about now while I'm talking. But thank you for watching this video. Bit shorter than some of our unboxing. He's a very straightforward miniature. I say he, I'm assuming it's a he. It could just as easily be a knight, and be a woman. It's Kingdom Death. He could be both. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Thumbs up if you found it useful and or vaguely amusing, and subscribe to the channel. Help me take over YouTube 1 subscriber at a time. Plus, it means you won't miss any more of my videos. Thanks for watching. This is Super Hamster out. Bye for now. Bye bye.